Okay, go ahead.
Ready? Okay, call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Is there a motion regarding the agenda and a possible addition? Thank you. You look at the second. I'm sorry. We're moving to include executive sessions number 17, change public comment to number 18, and
Yep.
adjournment to number 18.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We'll move on to public comment. Okay, we'll move on to communications. Oh,
Who made the motion and seconded the agenda?
First,
second.
second.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In,
Okay, got all our brush pile ground up. They're slowly picking away at the chips to get it out of there. Pile getting bigger, taking it away. Then the town, or we've been after some, road that needed some attention for some patching around town, local our roads, town roads, and we're taking care of some drainage issue. County issues, not issues, but I closed out most of our summer road work program, and they've all been sent in the voucher, and that money should be coming hopefully pretty quick. The county parks department did contact me about doing some more work in the park. Middle Pines Park, reconstructing a couple parking lots and entranceways. Not taking that on, I hope we get that all done. I met with New York State DOT about the Stony Mountain situation. They ordered the guide rail, it's a 30% radius, 30-degree radius, special order, so it's gonna take about 30 days for it to come in. Hopefully when that comes in, we'll get it together, and they are gonna do a traffic study. Usually that leads to some sort of flashing light or a caution ahead, dangerous intersection. No timeline on that, but at least they're heading in that direction to do something up there. And then I turned in my chips, EWR pave today. Everything was good. And I have about 132,000 coming back to us. That'll be paid December 15th. And I also turned in tops, pave our potholes, and that money should be showing up September 20th. 16,000.
Andy, I had a couple of people that talked to me about dead ash trees on the road. What's the process? Call the highway department and report
Yes.
where it is?
So earlier this year, I had the guys go out and mark every tree on a town road that we thought was our responsibility, put a white dot on it. So come this fall, I'm gonna start banging away at our dead trees within the town right away. Start knocking them out as many as I can or budgeted for.
So if there's a white dot on it, you're aware of it.
Yep.
What about the ones on the state roads? It's a state.
I can give you a phone.
what about county? Are they doing anything?
Usually through me, and then I'll talk to the manager, and either we can handle it, we'll do it, or they'll send out a company to do it. Sure. There's one in South Hill.
All right, Michelle?
I received our first credit card machine in the office. I'm going to wait until after tax season to actually get it set up, installed, and start working with it. It won't take taxes, but it will take everything like dog licenses, hunting licenses, all the stuff at the counter. I can't do taxes on it, it's a separate account, so someday, but not yet. So I do have that, that'll be coming soon. Hunting licenses are in full swing along with school taxes right now. Been pretty
Michelle?
busy.
Will the
credit card machine take for the court fees or no?
So the court has their own.
They have
credit-
their own.
They have a pay online system.
Okay,
And I've had that for 5 years now. When I
Oh, I
first
didn't-
started, I got that set up. I can't take them in the office, but they just go online and they can pay.
oh, okay,
And then the money just goes right in.
great, thank you, sorry.
No, that's okay. So then the rabies clinic and recycling event, John and I finalized everything for that. So again, that'll be October 15th. I think I sent a reminder. So that'll be a pretty big event, I think. It's only a couple hours that Saturday, so should be pretty quick and
I'm sure we'll be busy.
I think
We
so.
were
I'll
the
be
last
interested to see because Pittsburgh canceled their rabies clinic just recently. Their latest one because of COVID or something. So it'd be interesting. I'm pretty excited to have a first one. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so. And then today I was given the 2023 tentative budget signed off. You might have seen a picture about it. So other than that, these little taxes,
Has it been busy?
very busy.
Great, thank you. Sheldon, anything?
I have nothing.
Okay, move on to Brent.
Planning board's had a couple of meetings, I apologize for that last minute, at the last meeting, looking for coverage, sometimes it just happens. They've had some subdivisions, some special use permits, neighbors' concerns of, extending utilities, special use permits, I think overall, they have a lot of good discussion. They're asking a lot of questions to the applicants, getting this longer term plan idea out of them, and they're very good at thinking with their head, not their heart. But they also are doing it very empathetically, so it helps her feelings. Spray Park construction went to the meeting on the August 23rd. Still pretty good progress. Still no spirited meetings. I got another one tomorrow. They still have not indicated that they don't think they're behind schedule. They still think they're on schedule for substantial completion on November 2nd. Monroe County, or Mendon Community Business was canceled this month. Planning and Building Department, I'm going to sit down with Corey, CEO, talk to him about the solar farm, see if he's heard anything about the trees. We're getting very close to losing another planting season on those trees. I think, we'll see what he's heard from them. He also mentioned that we're oddly very low on shovel-ready lots for new homes. I think we counted 9 of them outside of Mending Green, and Mending Green is ready yet. It's just odd to see us that low in numbers. Application coming up for a special use permit in the Hamlet, so it's more activity in the Hamlet is good to see. And I just want to see, I see a lot of discussion at the planning board levels, CBA about water, more planning board neighbors looking for water. I just wanted to mention again, John and I had a discussion with the WEA grant this month. It's once again something that doesn't fit into the town of Mendon. I guess my main point is we talk about it at least once a month, trying to figure out if there's any way to facilitate getting water in the town. I don't know if the residents are aware of it. That's why I'm bringing it up tonight.
Thank you. Karen?
We continue to have the Citizens Advisory Committee meetings for the firemen, twice a month. And we're still collecting data.
Cindy?
First of all, I did not attend the library meeting this past month, because it was the same night as our public hearing. So I was not there and I haven't seen their minutes. Second, Brent, thank you for the update on the trees. I was wondering about that, the trees at the solar farm. And Brent and I are still working on the comprehensive plan items that we started working on back in the summer. We're trying to put things down so that it's workable. And glad to hear there's some progress or some activity in Hamlet.
Yes.
And with regard to what you said about the building lots, I just was listening to a report this morning on the radio and they had, I can't remember the gentleman's name, financial expert, and he said that new building is not happening. He said because materials are too, he said nationwide, new building is way down. So I think we're in the same boat.
Kind of expected to come to the screeching halt.
Yeah.
A lot sooner than that.
Yep.
Interest rates, I think, is what finally did it.
Yeah. So he did say if you're buying a house, don't go adjustable rate. He said, pay the price. He said, because, you know, back in the 70s, we were paying 18-20%.
Yeah.
And he said, then if you pay an adjustable rate, if it goes up to 20%, you're
You're at 20%.
you're at 20%. So he said, do it and just bite the bullet and refinance. So, anyway, that's my little tidbit of information from the news.
Don?
Actually, it worked out good that I went to the planning board meeting last week because the night before at ECB, they discussed the same project. Patterson subdivision, I think it's Patterson, is right across the street actually from Quarry on the corner of Ball Square and Taylor. Big 79-acre plot of land. Now, I think it was in 2017, he put together a site plan for laying out, I think it was maybe 8 different parcels, keeping the substantial part of the property as agriculture. Bayview farms that. But so he's very wishy-washy. This is the owner. A bit wishy-washy and didn't really know what his plans were. And so the planning board asked him, he wanted to carve up 3 more lots. So you've got where the Battles build, and then Battle Construction wants to build homes on 2 lots. But they talked to him and he's going to have his architect draw up what his future plan is, because the big concern is that they're going to piecemeal this thing. And they don't want, they wanted to have a little bit more harmony than that, than just saying, okay, here's 2 more lots, here's 2 more lots, here's 2 more lots.
Right.
So I think they left the public hearing. It was a public hearing. They left it open until the next meeting, and they're gonna get back with more information so that they can make a better decision on that. So,
Great. Thank you. Couple of items. First of all, last Thursday and into Friday, the oldest part of the library that the Girl Scouts use, there's 2 rooms at the top of their building. One was carpeted, so I rented a floor machine or a shampoo scrubber from Whiters, and the guy who's cleaning that building shampooed the rugs just to clean. Because that up there it was pretty dusty. Nothing been touched there. So I took it back Friday after we closed at 1 o'clock and parked out in front of Whiters, went in with the shampooer, came out, and during the time I was gone, I left my car unlocked. And somebody stole my laptop out of
Oh my
my
God.
So I have it on video from Derek. I talked to Derek West. You can see it right on video. So I filed a report with the police department and I also notified our insurance company. So it was my error, should have locked the car. But I just wanted everybody to know that that's what happened. So see what happens from here. But the deputy said most of the time they end up like pawn shops, things like that. And so Danny had impeccable records of serial numbers and all that kind of thing that I provided with them. So see what happens. And, if I was in Whiters 10 minutes, it was a long time. So
Could we turn off the access to anything? Or Was that
they
all
really
locked
can't
down
get
anyway?
anywhere without a password.
Okay.
They've got a laptop. Whatever's on it, but if they have your password logged in the first place.
Right.
I would assume it's gonna reformat and reinstall Windows and several somewhere,
Okay.
because there isn't much else they can do without a password.
And it's good that we have everything password protected.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Girl Scout house, I've been in contact with the ladies who are leading the Girl Scouts and, you know, we've done some things in there, cleaned it up, removed some stuff. Still got a little work to do on the lights, which I'm hoping to do tomorrow, and the interior lighting. And I went down over the weekend and washed the outside windows, and it's coming along. Let's put it that way. It's, you know, it is what it is, though. And they knew that coming in. Let's see, as Brent mentioned, there's a construction meeting for the Military Memorial Splash Park, and John Hickory's gonna attend that as well. I ran into him today. And the issue came up with one of the families of the parish servicemen about naming this. And I've always just called it Splash Park in the Military Memorial. I would just ask you to not to think about any specific names, but think about if there's, you know, it's at Dreisbach Fields, Dreisbach Park. You know, do you feel it necessary to have some kind of a name associated to it, and et cetera? Kind of take it from there.
What was the issue with the family members?
They wanted to know what it was going to be called,
Okay, so.
and then they had some suggestions that
Okay.
they shared with John that I got copied in.
Okay,
but
good.
I kind of stayed out of the discussion.
I
just
got that
because-
email.
You got it too. Yeah, I stayed out of the discussion because
I did too.
I didn't really, you know. I just want to respect their wishes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let's see, there's been a lot of talk within Monroe County about centralized kennels. You know, all the vets around the county have been bought up by one major corporation that's way up that's I don't know, some other part of the country. So we were kind of scrambling for kennels, and luckily we found the one in Bloomfield, Hollywood, and we're working with them, which is great, but obviously for everybody else in Monroe County, that doesn't necessarily work. So there is, excuse me, somebody on the northwest side of Monroe County, I think it's in Kendall or out that way somewhere, that they found one. But there's a lot of discussion about the county taking over kennels and setting one up on the east side and the west side. And, you know, our dog control officer would be able to take strays there and things like that. But a lot of towns have animal control officers, and we have a dog control officer. So that leads to a whole other thing, like who's going to pay what services are certain towns going to get, services aren't they going to get. So if anything comes to this real soon, I'll be very surprised. But apparently most counties that surround us have this already. They have countywide kennels. Recycle event, we're all set for that. And there's a sample of a brochure in your packet. Take a look at it, get a chance. And today I got an interesting phone call from a gentleman who purchased a house within, it's not right next door to him, but it's a couple of doors down from him. And he purchased it with the idea that they were going to have a short-term rental for people who want to like keep their horse there and ride it, things like that. They could come there, they could stay. If they were traveling across the country or something with a horse, they could board the horse there for a short term and actually stay at his house. I think he said he has 4 or 5 bedrooms in his house, but he doesn't actually live there. So I asked him to put all this in an email and send it to me because I want to share it with the board, because I think this is the kind of thing that we need to make sure that we understand before we pass a new law, that we're taking, you know, unintended consequences, which I kind of feel like this is one of them. By the same token, I was very nice to this gentleman, but I also said to him, you're opening up a business in a residential zone. You should have checked with us before you bought this other house. But anyway, it's, you know, these are all the other kinds of things that we need to think about as we get closer and closer to passing some type of a possible amendment or a new law regarding short-term rentals. And
Do a workshop or starting to, I know we had talked about September, after September 28th.
Right,
which looks like there's an issue with that.
yes.
So,
And I, it's on the agenda, but we can talk about it right now if you want to. You want to wait till then?
you can wait till then.
All
Yeah,
right.
well, I didn't know you were talking about the moratorium.
Yeah, I am. You want to wait till then, to talk about that particular training session? Okay. So we'll move on to supervisor's monthly report.
To acknowledge the receipt of the supervisor's monthly report for August 2022.
I'll say that.
Any discussion? Once again, we're really tight on DA. And as Andy mentioned, we've got a lot of money coming in from the county on various projects. So we should see that get bumped up in the very near future. But we'll continue to monitor DA. Everything else
So it's
is,
not horrible.
well, in DA, we've used
Yeah.
all the revenue.
Right.
And we've used $146,025 of fund balance, so we, in the budget allows for $148,000, so we're less than $2,000 to the plus side.
I guess what I meant was, it's not like we're in the hole yet.
No, we can't go.
Okay,
That can't happen.
Okay.
No, we would have to do a budget transfer from A.
right.
We cannot go. Yeah, so as revenue comes in, that'll help that situation. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we'll go on to town clerk's monthly report.
Make a motion to acknowledge receipt of town clerk's monthly report for August 2022, showing receipts and disbursements in the amount of $5,330.91.
No second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next are minutes. We can do these separately or all together. August 15th, August 22nd, and August 20th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes all together for August 15th, August 22nd, August 29th, as presented.
No second.
Any discussion?
Are these posted on the website already? Should we have them posted on the website before they're approved? As nothing? I mean, it
We all
doesn't
do it
say
for all the
draft, it
boards.
doesn't say
We always
anything. I mean, if there's amendments, could there be a concern, especially?
If I amend them, I do put amended. So if I do fix them, I put amended.
A lot of times people want to see the minutes before they're approved. And I think, we certainly would give them a hard copy if they came into town hall and asked for a copy of the minutes, approved minutes, but we would stamp them unapproved. before
Right,
they
yeah.
go to-
But it doesn't say unapproved on
I
the
can
website.
certainly note it. I just tend to go back to approve. That's.
Anything else? Do we have a second?
Yep.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next are budget transfers and adjustments.
I make a motion to approve the budget adjustments listed in the agenda.
I'll second.
Pretty minimal for this time of year. We're doing fine. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next, vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve all claims on vouchers number 22-589 to 22-664 on general abstract 22-09 in the amount of $237,993. and 11 cents. And I would just like to note that employee benefits were nearly $12,000 of that. Whitney East for the spray park, $173,059.44, and Sioux Falls, $6,000, a little over $6,000.
Any discussion?
Oh, we didn't second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
That 173,000 for Whitney East, is that the first pay application?
Second.
What's the second one?
Yeah, I gave them all our meeting dates, and I asked them to get any pay apps to us the Wednesday previous to our meeting dates.
And also the library vouchers number.
Did we
Oh,
vote?
we didn't vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed?
Library vouchers number 22-110 to 22-123 on library abstract 22-09 in the amount of $6,403.62 were presented to the town board for payment.
Thank you. Next is the tentative budget presentation, which is somehow our gizmo there goofy. And we don't have it for the screen, but everybody has a hard copy in front of them. So these are the highlights of the budget. The property tax rate is flat for all Mendon residents. The budget is within the mandated New York State property tax cap. There's funding for the seniors program, allocates funding for upkeep of the military memorial spray park, provides funding for all services that we currently provide, increased funding for the joint rec. We've seen an increase in the participation there. Provides reserve funds for highway equipment purchases, expansion for Dreisbach playing fields. We've been asked for to try to put another soccer field or so in there, and hopefully maybe we can get one. Still funding for the Huntington Falls ambulance, and provides reserve funding for future sidewalk expansion. The next slide is the rates, which is $2.39 for town outside the village, $1.50 for town inside the village. Those are the same as 2022. The following slide is the rates, some historical analysis from 2017 to 2023 regarding the tax rate. As you can see, we did have a tax rate decrease last year. And one of the things that I said at the time was that it was something that we could, I felt like we could keep it there, despite what some of our Facebook friends said. And even though we've seen big increases in fuel and cost of goods, we are still able to keep it flat. Then the next one is the rate inside the village, and down at the bottom, you can see the village rate increased by 10 cents in 2023, and the school rate increased by 45 cents for $25.05. I thought it was interesting. I had a chance to talk to Jim Legret today, and Lima did a big reassessment. There was a lot of talk about in the overall school district community about their reassessment and that kind of thing. The rate for Lima residents dropped almost $5, their school rate.
Wow.
But they put millions on the books because many people had increases of over $100,000 increases in assessment.
So the village or the town? Sorry.
That's the town.
That was the town.
Yeah, but it includes the village. So I talked to my sister and brother-in-law. They had their reassessment went up by, I think, 30, 40,000. But I think overall, there was like a 30% increase in assessments. But that's the way it should be. If your assessments go up, your rate should go down. Should happen. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that tidbit in because Jim and I were both very interested in that. The next slide is a pie chart, which shows the town resident, the village resident, where their tax money goes. And we did not include any lighting districts, water districts, anything like that. But these are the major components of residents' tax bills, which is town, village, school, and county. Obviously, if you're in the town outside the village, you don't have a village tax bill. The reason the county tax rate is different from town and village residents, is that the village residents, the sales tax is distributed differently. That's the simplest way to say it. So that's why you'll see the differential in the rate of the village to the town. The next slide is just a home that's assessed at $200,000 in the town outside the village pays $478 in town taxes. That's a 0% tax increase. So anybody who says they have an increase in their town taxes first of the year, if the board approves this budget or something similar, that would be zero. It would have to be because they lost an exemption or they put on some kind of an addition, shed, swimming pool, something like that, to make their assessment go up. The next slide is for a village resident, same thing, same scenario, that they pay $300 in town taxes. Next slide talks about the revenue for sales tax and mortgage tax. If you flip to the following page, you'll see the sales tax revenue. A is for actual, B is for budgeted after the year, and you'll see in 2021 a huge spike in sales tax revenue. A lot of that's due to online purchases that now require that. And as you can see, we bumped it up a little bit for 2023, but I really still was not real comfortable with going up to that level just because of the economy the way it is. I mean, I wish I had a crystal ball, but I don't. And I don't want to plan on that kind of revenue, given the kind of inflation that we're seeing right now for people. If we get more sales tax revenue, hurrah. But I hate to plan it. Mortgage tax revenue, same kind of thing. We saw a spike in 2021. A lot of that was due just because rates were so low. People were refinancing and buying homes and things like that. As Cindy mentioned, with prime going up, we're seeing across the country, we're seeing a drastic reduction in home buildings. For expenditures, the military memorial, obviously it provides maintenance and upkeep, provides funding for upgrades to the community center, increased funding for the library by $22,600, which is a 6% increase. As I mentioned, $20,000 that drives back fields for a possible new field there, and continued support for Veterans Day lunch and Hamlet beautification, which is something we've been, working on as a group. And we've seen a couple of places, a couple of businesses filled, or I should say, one filled, the other one improved a whole lot. The building, there's not a business there yet, but I think that's good news for all of us. So the 2023 budget provides still for 2 brush pickups and usual road maintenance and library operations, all the things I just mentioned. So in summary, the rate's the same. We're still providing for our seniors, taking care of our facilities, and dedicating funds for future sidewalk projects. I think we all would like to have an opportunity to get some grant money that would match our money we're stashing away for sidewalks. But as of this point, we've been unsuccessful. But we're gonna keep trying. Is there any questions on the presentation?
The only thing that I have had people contact me about is potential supplementing the summer recreation program for low-income families in the Mendon town. I don't know where that would fall or how that would fit in there, but that might be something we might want to consider.
Yeah, if folks want to consider that, we certainly can. It's all the other municipalities that do it are all tied to the free and reduced lunch program. That's how they determine if they're eligible. So I know the village had a big spike in people who applied for that. And so as I understand it from the former town clerk, the town of Mendon ran it. We didn't have access to that reduced lunch program, the list, so to speak, of people. There were some people who, I will say, according to the town clerk, took advantage. And so that's something we can certainly look at. And then, of course, for every additional expense, we've got to come up with a point where or find a cut in expenses somewhere else. So,
Do we subsidize all town residents right now?
yes, we do. We do right now for, I want to say it's $175 a person, but I could be off on that. I know it used, when we first started, it was 150 and we bumped it up, but it's somewhere between 150 and $200 per camper that we already subsidized for. So it's, in round numbers, I don't have the contract with me, but it's about $500 for a child to attend it. And we put in roughly 200 and then the participant puts in 300. And I'm just talking round numbers. I'm sure it's
Sure.
not exactly
Sure.
that, but it's in that neighborhood.
So Karen, you think of
Perhaps a scholarship.
like 5 scholarships or? something
Yeah,
like that?
that's what I'm thinking. That's basically what people have asked me about, because the village does something.
Village of Honey Falls does, and I believe, I don't know if Lima, Village and Town do or not. Oh, I know, one of them, either the Village or Town of Lima has a cap. They'll only subsidize X amount of dollars.
Right.
When it reaches that cap, the people have to pay the full price. And I know Kim Roberts is talking to people who live in the school district, who live in other towns like Rush and maybe Avon. I forgot what towns have little pieces in the school district. She's talking to them about subsidies as well. Anything else from the presentation? So everyone has a copy of the 2023 tentative budget. So if you would please take a look at that, mark it up, highlight it, whatever you want to do. And if you could set aside some time to meet with me between now and our next meeting, which is 2 weeks, then we can sit down and, talk about it, see if there's a consensus for doing anything. You could, at this point, it's the board's budget, and as long as there's 3 votes, literally anything can be changed. We'll move on to number 12 on the agenda, which is the 2022 New York's supervisor or assessors fall conference.
I'll make a motion to approve the attendance of the Mendon assessor to the fall conference in Lake George on September 18th through the 21st. From account number A1355.410, not to exceed $882.60, not including mileage.
Second.
Any discussion? You've got in your packet, you've got like a little flyer that talks about the any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is the 2022 Association of Towns Planning and Zoning School attendance. Now, I will tell you that since we sent in our check and numerous weeks have gone by, we have received an email saying that they're full and they're going to return our check.
Oh,
And that has happened just the last couple of days. But I did want to leave that on here because if for some reason there's an opening, we would love to have somebody go. And I did email back the gentleman from the Association of Towns, as well as the attorney who's presenting on that particular subject of short-term rentals, that we definitely wanted to attend and let them know, that we were still interested if an opening came up. Couldn't we get one of our people?
I need a motion.
Yes. So is there a motion to approve this expense with the possibility that we might be able to go?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
I think it's
I do too.
try to get in there, even if we can get the PowerPoint from these presentations.
Right.
They're usually good about that.
Yeah, the attorney who's presenting, Katie, she emailed me back and said that she, after this event, she would send me the slides.
Perfect.
And then she would be available for phone calls. And she also said, they also said there's one in, I think, like Saratoga or Lake Placid or something, which you know, isn't really, I'm sorry, Brent.
It was down there. It was a hike. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like
it
being
was.
big with it.
Yeah, which I did not think was a good use of time personally.
Right.
And money. And they also said that they would try to schedule this one again somewhere in this vicinity so that maybe, because they had apparently a lot of people that turned. So we got everything but a vote.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we'll go to youth center discussion. How do you wanna?
Well, John and I have, we have been meeting regarding staffing, so I'll let John kind of hit on that, but what we have tentatively thrown out there, hopefully was doing an open house. What, before I get before myself. The first day of operation would be October, again, we're proposing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Last year it was Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think.
What days?
Monday through Thursday, so 4 days a week. And I
And
think
what hours?
2 to 6. And so we're proposing September, we're proposing the 3rd being the first day that we open up.
October 3rd.
Yes, what we'd like to do, and we did this last time, on the 29th, which is Thursday preceding opening, having a open house. You know, 16, 7:30, something like that. Yeah, we put in
29th.
6:30, 7:30.
6:30 to 7:30.
Yeah.
And we have staff, did you say?
Well, I'll let John talk to you kind of where we are on the staffing situation. But go ahead, John.
So what would be the plan for Columbus Day?
Oh, is there no school on Columbus Day?
No.
Correct.
Okay, then we would open on Tuesday.
No,
I don't know what
the
the
thing
third
is-
Oh, no, it's the next week. The next week
Like
is.
the 9th.
Yeah.
If there's, I mean, what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
And what I would propose is if there's no
School, there's
no school, unless, you know, unless we decide maybe over Christmas break, if there's no days or whatever, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, right, is that the?
Yes, yeah, that's what we've done before. If the school's closed, we don't operate. One is that we don't want to become a daycare center. And number 2 is that Cougar Care obviously costs money, and the school's been great to us, and we do not want to run in competition with that. So,
One other thing, I'm sorry, John, just to jump in real quick. John and I had a discussion when we opened it before, and Jen was the director. There was some questions about age group. John and I, when we initially started this, we were thinking middle school, so that'd be 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And I think from the discussions John and I have, and it's an open discussion, I think we'd like to keep it with the middle schoolers with a possible flex with 9th graders. And again, that might not even be needed, but you know, it's just my gut reaction to say, no, you're in 9th grade, you can't do this. If you had a kid that was active and whatever and wanted to continue on, you know, then, you know, it's not gonna be that hard and fast, a deadline from what we talked about. So,
yeah, we just said that we weren't gonna quiz every child who came in there, but if somebody came in who was 6'5", we'd probably.
Birds.
I think it's good to draw a line in the sand. I mean, even if it's not a hard and fast line.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So we'd advertise for 6th to 8th.
Right,
Yeah.
The other thing is that we have, since we put the ad in the Sentinel, that we've had a applicant who is coming in on one day this week. I forgot what day. Wednesday, for a kind of informal interview with Tom. And one of the people that we had last year, or not last year, but last time it was open, fortunately, it was about a year ago. She has graduated, and she would like to take on the responsibility of scheduling and things like that. And I have some experience with her, and I think she'd do an excellent job. And so I've talked to her about taking on some additional responsibilities other than just working there from 2 to 6 on certain days. So I think she'd do an excellent job. She's very well organized, and I think she would relate to those students very well.
And other than that, we have interest in some people who worked the last 2 months or so.
Yes.
The only,
We don't
the only
have a
two months.
director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I didn't really want to name her as the director right now. I just thought we'd
Right.
try this and see kind of as almost like a lead person at this point, because previously, the idea was director was not gonna really be there on a regular basis. And I really, after just a few months we were open, I felt like we needed somebody who would be there working as staff at least a couple days a week to really be able to communicate back to us on what was going on and give us some ideas on how many children are participating, things like that. So I think this will do the job, so to speak. I don't know that we need a formal director, but if for some reason it's not, I'd be glad to revisit.
That makes sense?
Makes sense, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Did you see it open back up?
Right.
Yeah, me too. I did check with the school too about opening, just with all the COVID kind of things going on, and Renee Williams retired, so she was really our conduit back to the school. So I did talk to one of the administrators, saw no reason why we couldn't.
I did take it with a grain of salt that our COVID emergency is open tonight at midnight, so.
All right.
Really?
Governor Hochul just announced it.
Oh, really?
Emergency.
You're kidding.
Uh-oh, there's a lot of things you can do in the next few hours.
Woo-hoo.
Anything else with the youth center? We'll move on to the recycled rabies event. I know we talked about it briefly, but everybody has a little pamphlet that we'll be producing. Certainly look that over. We will need participation from elected officials that day. So, because I think the more times we have it, the more often we're going to get more and more people.
Right.
A lot of people have been home over the last couple of years, so maybe they've done some cleaning out.
I wish.
Not me,
I
but
keep
I'm
thinking
sure.
somebody's gonna do it for me.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, I'm not one of those people.
Is this for Mendon residents only?
We have never put that disclaimer on it.
Okay.
I'm sure last time we did it, we had some folks that weren't from Mendon. But we've never really put that kind of disclaimer on it in the past.
So this is the electronics, the shredding, and are we doing medications or no?
Yes,
I'm sorry, okay,
yep, the sheriff's
Thank you.
department will be there. collecting
just like we did
medications.
the last time.
Yes. Yes, and
Okay,
actually, one of the things that they required, that the Eco Park required, is that we have their logo on with regarding the pharmaceutical waste, because it ends up going there, but only the sheriff's department can handle the
Right.
pharmaceutical waste. So they've all those folks have been extremely helpful to us. And the rabies thing is all new.
Yep.
So
all
Michelle,
Dr. Gluckman's
Oh, really?
administrating.
We don't have to do the shouts?
No, I offered, but they didn't trust me, I guess. Yeah, no, Monroe County brings the serum and then
Yeah,
Dr. Gluckman just comes and does the shots.
can we keep in the back of our minds, hazardous material
I
recycling as well?
talked to the county about that and they will not collect that remotely. You have to take it to Eagle.
They won't.
No,
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, we
is that
checked on
what you
that
were
last-
referring to? Before, or no, you had, when you said the eco park?
No, I was saying that regarding the pharmaceuticals, the
Right.
Eagle Park wanted their logo on our
Okay.
brochure. But no, they said absolutely not. Because I asked them about like batteries, tires, paint, all that kind of stuff that people always ask and they go, no, we don't do that.
yeah.
Sure.
they
Oh,
told me
that's
that
too
last
bad.
time.
Okay.
Yep, I
Thank you.
agree, but
And even on their brochure, it says that you have, all their brochures, you can't drop that logo, you have to take it.
yeah, usually you have to have an appointment.
Yeah, they have to have an appointment.
So I've been in there before.
Yeah,
It's an impressive facility. For sure. All right, so we'll move on to refund to applicant number 16.
Make a motion to refund the applicant's fees to the town of Mendon moratorium and short-term rental to Ms. Margaret Fiore, property located at 383 Pond Road. It falls $350 for the public hearing notice and application for a special use permit.
second,
Any discussion?
And that's for the planning board, right? This does not have to do with the ZBA that was put in before, especially.
Correct, that was the fee they paid for the public hearing.
So she paid for a special use permit, and that's what we're refunding?
Correct,
Okay,
correct, because they're no longer eligible.
right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The new number 17 is for executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session? So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? I would ask that Kelly stay for executive session. I don't think it's.
Go for it.
Is there any public comment? Number 18, seeing none, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Everybody.
Unanimous.
We just so seldom get to talk.